So in fact, I removed my blazer. And we're going to be discussing from grad to great, empowering Saudi talent for entertainment excellence. And in order to help me discuss this, I'd like to invite up to the stage our three fabulous panelists. So come on up. So firstly, we have Michael Jobson from Middle Beast. We have Nadim Jamal. Actually, Michael, we'll get you to sit around this side. I don't think he's connected in yet. And then, of course, come on up, we have Arwa as well from 24 Events. So please, let's give a nice warm welcome to our panelists. So, Michael, we'll get you to sit here, just a line.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't bite.
Hi, how are you?
So as mentioned, today's topic is from grad to great, and this is something we can all really take note and take action with as well. Whether you're an operations director, or you're a venue owner, or if you're a government entity, or even if you're a team leader, this is something we all play a pivotal role in, is creating opportunities for young Saudi graduates to be employed and empowered as well within the workspace. We were discussing this morning about how young the nation is, and how that is beneficial to us as well, not only in our workforce but also in the consumer market. Something to consider as well. So please stick around because we're going to dive right into the strategies and the initiatives aimed at providing sustainable pathways for young graduates to excel in entertainment and in the events industry as well. I mean, I'm joined by three absolute juggernauts in the events industry, specifically to this reason, as well as to why they've all joined us today. I think we're all connected. Perfect.
We're all connected.
Perfect. We're live. All right. So, to kick things off, I was lucky enough to have some discussions with everyone prior to this. I'm very excited as well for their insights. But I think let's start with Michael as well, because like we were just discussing before, in what ways can government and private sectors kind of collaborate to create more opportunities for Saudi graduates or young Saudi talent as well?
Well, I mean, I would start with what government can do is provide funding, which they do. I think that's just about focus, and I would turn the focus away from graduates and turn it towards people. Simply, it's people, it's not graduates. We need to drive this forward with people that have a passion to be in an industry that thrives on that. I don't think diplomas or anything that brings people to us outside of direct qualification from the industry really should be the focus. I think it's just about identifying the people that have the passion to be in it and then putting them into the sector that they need to be in.
No, absolutely, and I guess it is very much that hands-on experience which a lot of young talent is kind of hungry for. So from an events perspective, just kind of, I'll be nice and loud, we're competing with a rock show behind us there. So from the events industry as well, what does somebody who's a graduate or somebody entering the industry, maybe from a different industry, what kind of entry point positions are there within event production?
I mean, I think that's limitless, really. It's only about access. I would say that, we as a company at Middle Beast, we are one of the largest events companies in the region, and we have boundless opportunities that we can put young people into, from a internship, direct employment. I mean, but I think probably the most important part in all of that is a real mentor program to get people moving forward. You know, what we don't have in Saudi Arabia is historical data, historical experience. So it's not like dads and big brothers are passing on the energy and the passion to go and build a PA system or know how to advance a show with a incoming production manager, or understand what unloading trucks, or what it takes to run a warehouse, or any of those things. There's other industry that some elements could pass it on from, but the depth of experience over, you know, I mean, I would say there's 75 years of growth and experience in the West, where these things have been passed on from father to son through conversations that come from going to see a band or going to see an artist, and, you know, watching and listening to the audio, seeing a lighting show, you know, watching the transition from backdrops into content on video screens. That is very, very new. So I think we need time. Time will tell.
And there's definitely a big responsibility then for the culture behind it. Like you said, there's no kind of inherited hand down for the region specifically as well. I'd love to hand over to Arva as well to get your thoughts in terms of working with more entry point talent and any kind of internal mentorship or any, I guess, internal graduation program, for lack of a better word.
Yes, I think we have lots of programs that will help lots of grads, lots of Saudi students to enter this field. But what I'm seeing, the mindset is always I want to be either event planner or in the crowd management. We need more people to tap in the specialties, like for IFE or any technologies. This is what we need more, because we have big gaps in. From my perspective, I'm a mentor in the entertainment with Munshaat, and most of the people come, I want to establish a new event planner, event management company. I once had this lady, she wants to do something in technology in defense. I begged her to start. I told her, you're gonna find a lot of clients will gonna work with you, because we have a big gap in this. As to the programs, we have lots of programs from General Entertainment Authority, from Saudi Academy of Entertainment, but we still need people to think more about the things are missing.
No, that's a great point as well, and there's that naivete with maybe they don't know these entry point positions or the growth or the career path that all three of you have gone through as well. I'm sure you didn't jump straight into a VP or CEO position as well. So I think I'd love to tap in with Nadim as well when it comes to all those positions, because I know you're very experienced with that. It may not be straight into a managerial level, but being able to reach out to that local Saudi talent and say, look, we need somebody to manage a queue line. And that is the events industry. It may not be what you expect or what you know of it, but bringing in your expertise and reaching out to those entry point positions you're creating and training in.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the volume of opportunities in the kingdom allow for large numbers of students, fresh graduates, people who just, I don't know, got a degree in dentistry and just don't want to pull out teeth, and they come to the industry because they know that there are opportunities, they know that it's going to be an enjoyable experience, and we and many companies like us can tap into opportunities like what Middle Beast produces, where they need 2,000 staff per project, per Soundstorm, for example, of usher level, have the opportunity to slot them into a few of these kind of positions, and then with time, the ones that actually really hold fort and really prove that they're driven, they're motivated, start to move up to supervisor level, move up to coordinator level, eventually graduate maybe into whether it's an accreditation a coordinator or an AV coordinator, and then slowly develop that experience from coordinator level to manager, and so on and so forth. It needs to build up slowly, but or it needs to build up at a fair pace. But of course, the ambition of the events industry and the entertainment industry of the kingdom means that the demand is so high that the training institutions need to accelerate it. The training programs that are sponsored by large entities like Middle Beast need to fuel that, and it will get there. And we've already seen a huge rise from the 2019 Riyadh season which was probably the first mega event that we had seen here, at least, and we were part of, to today, and the level of experience that people have from then to today.
It's a bit of a grey area as well. The reason behind why a local Saudi talent would want to join the event industry as well, where is that coming from? Is it something that they've studied for, or is it something they think, well, I like events, so I want to do this, and they come in with quite an under-rehearsed expectations. So I'd like to kind of check in as well with Michael as well. And is this something that you see working with local talent? Obviously, there's a lot of pride in it because they're contributing to the 2030 vision. But is that alone enough for them to sustain and commit to a full career path with that organic growth?
Well, look. There's an elephant in the room, isn't there, that we should touch on, and that is who wants to do the work. You know, I said it in my opening comments. It's about passion. It's not about qualification. And what we've got right now is a relatively established entertainment industry. We are working very hard towards that ourselves. But if you look at blue-collar work around us and what we're doing, and Nadeem will testify to this, we're staffed by foreign workforce, not just Western expat, but the blue-collar work is being done by Bangladeshi, Pakistani, Indian and Filipino workers that are being trained on the job in all of these service companies. I'm going to touch on a little bit about Saudization and the mandate that we've been given that we have to work towards, and how difficult and how much of a challenge that is to deal with. And then I'll go on and tell you a little about what we're trying to do to combat that. We have 15,000 staff working on our festival site at Binban in December. That's the flagship event that we deal with. 15,000 human beings working out there. The vast majority of the workforce are foreign. They're not Saudis. Let's be clear about that. So to combat this, we have mandated Saudization. We have to meet quotas. We have to get to that place. We all struggle. Every ministry, and I think you could probably support me in this too. I've seen the stats across the ministry, employment levels, and we're not meeting the quotas. So we've embarked on a thing we're calling Be Stead. And that is, we're an entertainment company. We're going to try our very, very best to give the very best service to education in all of these areas. So we stated to all the international service companies that we work with in 2020, when we began post the 2019 first iteration of the festival, that we were going to give them 2 years to have their Saudi CR in place, to have their warehouses, equipment in the country, be fully functioning, fully staffed, and working towards their own levels of Saudization. So that's the first move that we made. So imagine freight company, sound companies, lighting companies, video companies that have come from Europe and established themselves. Everyone, bar none. We eliminated one of our dearest partners this year because they declined to take up the Saudi CR and follow through on the mandate that we have. That was a very, very painful thing for us to have to do, but we had to stick by our guns. So Be Stead has been launched with the help of our closest partners at Production Glue, Tate, and if this fly would...
Our fourth panelist there.
We're out there with a marketing campaign. We're through all of the Middle East mediums getting this out to the public. We're running classes. We would have, I'll give you a statistic. We ran our first class. We had 76 applicants, 46 showed up, and 23 finished the class. So you can see where we get to. Where we'll continue. We'll keep with the drive and all of that. But I go back to passion. People have to have a passion and a drive to want to be in the industry and do these jobs. We can put young Saudi men and women into internships with all of our partners. Somebody wants to come and work in lights and they have a drive for it and they have a passion for it, we'll find them a job. We'll give them an education. We'll get them moving through. Somebody wants to come and work in audio, we'll find them a job if they've got a passion and a drive and a work ethic that's going to put them into that domain. But as you said, we too have a glut of administrators. They come out of college with a degree or a qualification in event management or project management, and people want to be an executive in the first 15 minutes. It doesn't work that way. I mean, I'm clocking on a few years in my life, and my career began as a 14-year-old, and that started with me loading the van for my brother's band. 12 months later, at 15, I was a guitar technician working professionally. 2 years after that, I was a production manager working professionally. It only comes from experience. It doesn't come from that diploma. You have to get the experience on the ground. Find your passion, roll with it. Get the mentors that will help you through. My own mentors in life were I was very lucky. Some of the artists that I worked with over the years, I was taken under their wing. Managers, agents, musicians themselves. I grew up in an era where it was very easy to do it. It's much more challenging these days. But we have a portal. We have a route through that we want to. We have these quotas to meet, and we want the young Saudis to get to us, and we'll provide the route through to any and all professional positions that they want to get to through BeastEd. So go to www.middlebeast.com and it's just right there. It's at your fingertips.
I want to just add something onto that. We started the guest services department a few years ago for several reasons, but one of the top 3 reasons was, when I say guest services, I mean providing and managing ushers and hosting staff and so on. One of the main reasons for that is it was proving very difficult to find, as a recruitment company catering specifically to the events and entertainment industry, very different to find top quality juniors that are actually passionate, are actually willing to put in the long hours and actually want a career in the events industry, not just to make some money until the next semester starts in university or whatever it was. And it's proving to be an excellent place to filter people through. We just finished a job for Silla at Wonder Garden, where we had 650 ride attendants, all Saudi nationals, 50% female, 50% male, all above the age of 21. And at the beginning of the project, we had the expected 15% outflow after the first week. The ones that stayed behind, we knew, okay, these guys can put up with the long hours, these guys want to be here. By the end of the project, 60% of the people that started stayed. Now we're talking about a 7-month project here. So those 60% we're now going to churn into another project, and as I said, they're going to get more and more senior. The hope is that we can take the who's who of that and churn them into a program like this, or get them in an internship with you guys. And this is what's happening now with the Ministry of Culture. The Biennale now are starting to hire some of the ushers as coordinators and as room managers, room coordinators, and that's it. They've begun their career. They've got that first job away from just the guest services world. Now hopefully they're patient and they don't realize that by next year they're going to be a senior manager, and they understand that they have to put in that work and that time and get their hands dirty and have aching feet by the end of the day. But not all of them will get it. Some of them will, and the ones that do will eventually become directors of something, or VPs of something.
Absolutely, no, that's very much the goal. And earlier in our panel today as well, we were discussing of what do we look for in the interview process? And I think you guys have really highlighted that when it comes to passion and work ethic. It doesn't matter what they've really graduated in, it matters the work ethic that they've taken from that, or that they're bringing to apply in combination with their passion as well. So yeah, it's never going to be easy, but I'd love to hear from Arwa as well when it comes to any other challenges that a young Saudi local might face when it comes to entering a specific job market, but obviously highlighting events.
If we were in, let's say, 2017, I will list lots of challenges. There was no market. Everyone was going and fighting and looking for something to do in this field. But now it's all easy. It's like the programs, the opportunities are begging people to come and work in this industry. So who has the passion and who has the mindset that this is going to take time to be excellent at, not just I want to be top management from the first role. So I think now we have zero challenges for anyone to come to this industry.
Yeah, I think definitely inviting with open arms for sure. I'd like to check in with Nadim as well about just, I guess, accessibility for these opportunities as well. How do we reach out to this younger market? We're not handing out flyers or door knocking nowadays. It's what kind of techniques do you have, especially with recruitment, as well with Michael, as when it comes to recruiting, specifically for local talent? What's your kind of approach to that, to make sure that you get a diverse range of applicants as well, not just those who are fastest on their phone?
I mean, most graduates, many graduates, you won't reach them easily on LinkedIn. We go to campuses. We use social media heavily. We do have, TikTok and boosted posts. We tend to try to separate the recruitment drives from a specific drive for a project, like a Soundstorm. We'll tend to do a recruitment drive on its own, so we can, without a deadline, focus on getting the best talent. So it'll be a push out onto various social media. It'll be also telling our tried and tested staff, tell your friends, tell your brothers, you know what we're looking for, you know the standard that we're expecting and that our clients are expecting. Go out and get them, and then we'll do our interview process. Usually it's kind of a speed dating type process, so it's as impartial as possible, and X number will get through. Repeat, grow the database, repeat, grow the database, repeat, grow the database. But the majority of it, actually, I say that, or the quality that we get, is by word of mouth. It's the tell your cousins, tell your brothers, you know what we're looking for. And it works really well. There's a population of, I think it's 33 million now. We have a 33 million population. So there is the talent is out there. It's about finding them, and it's about finding the ones that are willing to stick around throughout the muck and the hard days.
Absolutely. I mean, events like today are great networking opportunities for any young talent or any graduates as well to kind of just not just take note, but to take action and to connect with even our panelists here, if anyone's interested in the events industry. So what kind of, when you do these reach outs, do you find that there's a certain sub-demographic? Do you find that, okay, it's usually male locals aged between these ages, or do you find there's a general interest across the nation?
It's very mixed. The female workforce here are just as, or if not more, motivated than the male workforce here. We've found they're willing to put in the hours. Some of them do. We find that some of them do have to, convince their family that they're going to a safe place and so on and so forth, because the parents might worry, especially about the younger female candidates in the group. But they're, as time passes and as somebody's cousin also just finished a job with Silla, and they I don't know how to put it, but it was a bit taboo at the very beginning a few years ago, and now it's much easier. They're starting to see, and the families are starting to open up, and you know, there's trust in the industry and working in the industry.
Absolutely, yeah. And I guess we've kind of all known it as, I mean, outside of Saudi, it's really kind of known as that hustle culture as well, of really pushing for it and reflecting that passion. I'd love to hear from Michael as well. In terms of an interview process, how do you measure that passion? Is that something that's evaluated on site, or is that something that you can kind of gauge from a discussion with a young Saudi local?
Yeah, look, I mean, that's a very good question. I'm not sure if I'm the best gauge of that, because my own method is generally dispels all of the qualifications, and I focus on the personality. You know, knowing can this person come into this team? Is this person going to bring a value add with their energy, with their passion for what we're doing, with their understanding and their ability to integrate into what we're doing? I mean, I have some very amazing examples of this and stuff to be very proud of. I think, you know, there's this project that I work on is very much a legacy project for me. It's not wanting to be too soppy or anything, but this is probably the last job I'll do in my professional life. So, it's very, very important to me, very, very key to my own personal legacy, that I pass the baton of my own knowledge and the many decades of experience that I've attained to young Saudis to take that forward. You know, inside our own company, I mean, we're 65% Saudi currently, and the breadth of youth that work through all the departments in Middle East is something to be very proud of for our company. And but for us in the events line, we're a growing group, and we've got such talent, such incredible talent that we've found from within. You know, we've got one. I'm going to talk about one guy in particular. His name's Abdullah. I'm going to name him a very special character. He arrived with us as a runner. So he's not a child. This is a grown man that came with such humility that he just wanted to work with us. He was there 16, 18 hours a day working, and that didn't go unrecognized. Abdullah is now the GRO for the events team at Middle East. He has a very, very, very important job. He deals with government ministers on a daily basis. He's grown his own personal database where, you know, the respect that people in very high-ranking offices have for him, it's just, that's a success story for me, you know. And that just came from pure passion, pure desire to be a success. And, you know, long may that continue. I just want to see more of those guys come through the door with me, you know.
It's definitely something we can all take note from as well, is legacy. We're not just setting something up to be disposable, or we're not just here to tick a box or create an opportunity just to say, there you go, there's your opportunity. But it's to create that legacy that will live on, with or without you in that the position that you're in. And I think that comes from creating those programs of growth. So you're not just offering them a job, you're offering them a career path, and you're offering them, basically, if they're a graduate, it's university all over again. They can graduate their way through the company, and they've got to apply the same amount of commitment and the same amount of passion and discipline that they're finishing from. They're not running away from all those skills, and it's a lot harder in the real world. We all know that. But I'd love to go down the line, and I mean, let's start with Nadim as well. Of how would you measure passion, or how would you kind of figure out a work ethic from just an interview or from on-hand kind of job?
Yeah, the interview is, some people are great actors, and it's really hard in an interview, even for somebody who's a good judge of character. It really is on site. Yeah, you do your best in an interview. Yes, of course, we're we might go for different criteria that a particular brief from a particular client has asked us, of course, and then we want to see, you know, is this the kind of person who's going to be toxic? Is this the kind of person, you know, we've had interviews where somebody said has done the most amazing interview, and then at the end of that has said things like, we would ask, do you have anything else to add? And they would say, well, I have a very short temper. And it's, you never know. If we hadn't asked that, we may have not known, or he may have not admitted that he's not going to get the job. But it's very difficult. We have the opportunity to see everybody on site, and we have also the opportunity to put people within bigger teams where they have mentors on certain jobs, and it's very difficult it's very easy, to really get that feedback if somebody that you've been working with for 10 years gives you that feedback that this person was incredible, we were always on time, when we gave them an instruction they followed it. They have the humility, which is very, very important, especially for people who are older in their career but were doing something else, let's say working for a fit-out company, and now they want to be an assistant site manager in events, let's say. Similar, but slightly different. Maybe they're in their 30s. Maybe they don't know how to use a radio. If they don't have that humility, they're not going to, take one step back, learn, realize that they're not a big fish, they're actually a small fish in this environment, and they won't be open to learning and growing. They'll just be pushing and trying to prove themselves. So in short, we mainly see it on site, and we get various opportunities to test this in a live environment.
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely. It's like you said, hands don't lie. You'll kind of see that in practice. So no, I think it's a very good way to kind of assess and see if the proof is in the pudding with that as well. So I'd love to hear from Arwa as well. How would you kind of evaluate somebody's passion or somebody's commitment, whether that's through a probationary trial or whether that's through an interview? Kind of how does that work for you?
Okay, so for me, really not a good judge of character of people. But for me, it's not just passion. It's one number thing for me, or the first thing I focus on, attitude. Is this person is willing to listen and learn, or he thinks or she thinks that they're too smart and they're not going to do the job because they think they're better than that. So, and one story, we had this project like 4 years ago. I remember we hired two ladies to handle this project. One of them, she was fresh. He never worked in the events industry, but she has a good attitude and she had a great vibes. She's passionate. She wants to do the work. The other, she has a great experience, but the attitude was really bad, and she thinks she knows what she's doing, so she's not doing well. At the end, we put the new one as the project manager. At first, we were planning to put the experienced one as a project manager and the other one her assistant. We flipped it because I don't care about your experience if you're not working if your attitude is not helping us, if you are not willing to learn. So we usually change things when we hire people after we hire them in the project, and we have this probation 3 months. It helps us a lot.
I know, of course, yeah. I feel like there's a lot of pride and ego that we see that can sometimes interfere with the work. So I think kind of what we've all assessed is that it's really the attitude, the passion, and the work ethic that we assess on site. And what I often tell young talent as well is the hardest job to get is your second job, because anyone can lie and get the first job, or anyone can get lucky and get the first job, but it's that second job where people have had a chance to assess your work ethic and see you in practice and oh my word, and kind of see if it is something worth investing in as a company as well. So it does take time. It takes a lot of time, not just for us to evaluate, but also for the culture and the expectation to be set in an area where it is very new. So we've got a few moments left, but we'd love to open this discussion to you guys in the audience. If anybody has any questions for our panelists, I believe we have a roaming microphone in the back there. So any questions from the crowd? Seems like we did a great job of covering everything. Oh, we got one. Oh, we got two. Perfect.
It was very enlightening session. Michael, Nadim, Arwa, thank you very much. In terms of internship and coordination between university and government, what are the initiatives that has been taken from your side to encourage, like sending those talent abroad or having a program for them? And I'm talking especially in production and technical, because you can always find talent into ushering, into running the event, but you have a big lack in terms of technical and production.
I mean, I can answer to that more from the private sector, from us. You know, we can 100% absolutely and very clearly position young men and women that come through these programs into positions internationally for training. You know, there was an instance some time ago where we put the offer out. We had a position for 6 young IT graduates, people with experience in IT, that they could have gone to the United States and spent an entire summer working for the Clare organization on a full program of festivals throughout the summer. That was the first thing that we touched upon. We couldn't find the people to do it. You know, this was fully paid for, fully funded by Clare themselves, not any government entity. They were going to be employed to do it. We couldn't find the people to do it. So it's not for the lack of desire, but we feel that through our new B-stead that we're working on, we'll create those possibilities. We'll find those young men and women, and we'll absolutely follow up on that and get them out there into the wide world.
Thank you.
Could be a matter as well of audience outreach. I mean, going to universities and just letting them know this is the industry, this is what we're looking for, and this is what is available. To kind of, I guess, get more attention with those who might not know. We've got one more question in the front there.
Thank you, everyone. I'm Noor Al-Akail. I have a comment more than a question. You tapped on the lack of people who express their interest other than the areas of being managers or just the regular ushers. I believe that since you have this opportunity to employ a lot of people who have been trained, a few of them, if we have shed the light on them and have them a role model through the media, that will make people or the young generation want to be that next one, because I feel like we are a little bit behind in putting them in media promotion, where we create those role model. Then we will create that interest in the market, because I believe it's not because I cannot be passionate about something that I don't know about. I don't know how it looks like, and I don't know how people operate it. If I put a lighting designer in front of university students, this will trigger their curiosity, and then this will create the appetite to learn, or maybe then they will be passionate about. But that's, I think, one of the things that maybe you should focus on. I'll put the responsibility on you from a social point of view, as you have those talent already worked for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. And if you don't mind as well, I can formulate that into a question as well, just to keep the open discussion engaged as well. But we were speaking on mentorship programs, and even in the previous panels we were discussing of multi-generational within the workplace, by really pushing for that Gen Z kind of cohort within your company for their ideas and their understanding and their relevance and their finger on the pulse of the market, but then partnering that with somebody, say, from Generation X, or somebody that has a different approach to the same thing, in order to diversify your creative problem solving. So I guess generally speaking, whoever would like to take it, when it comes to age diversity within your organizations, what kind of benefits or what kind of targets do you look for without leaning more toward one direction?
I mean, I think in our organisation, I don't think age has any limitation. I mean, we're looking for ability and aptitude, and I mean, I think the example of Abdullah that I gave you is point in case. You know, this wasn't a young man. He's a young man, but not a child. He's not a teenager coming into the industry, but he started off with that, and look where he's taken himself. There's no barrier to it, none at all.
Absolutely no kind of age on passion as well. If the passion is there, then it works, and it works.
It can only grow, right?
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. I wish we could keep the discussion going as well, but for any graduates as well in the audience, please, like I mentioned before, take note, take action, meet our esteemed panelists, share your business cards, and keep connected, because that is the whole point of this as well, is to connect and inspire. So if please join me in giving another big thank you to our panelists. Thank you all so much for your insights. And I'll get you guys just to stay on the stage for a little photo op, and then for everyone else, you can join me in grabbing a coffee, but then do come back as well, because we'll be diving into a fireside chat about immersive magic and unveiling the next wave of festival wonders, which is a big, relevant and exciting one for us. Thank you so much. I feel like you guys are absolutely